This is music, and this is an emotional roller coaster. Welcome to another First Impressions video. In these videos, I share with you my first impressions of the many CDs I've blind bought over the last couple of years. This is going to be a bit of an emotional roller coaster with some highs and some lows. I have this stack of CDs, so let's get down to business. Starting on a massive high, Maceration, a Serenade of Agony. This is freaking awesome. Authentic, old school death metal. It features Dan Svanö, incognito though, on vocals, Jakob Schultz, formerly of Invocator, on guitars. It has the guitar tone that, that kind of razor sharp guitar tone that Invocator that they have on Excursion Demise. It has a similar guitar tone, just more extreme here. The guitar tone on the solos, that sounds like Jakob Schultz 100%. And you also get the crazy, insane, fast, blistering, chaotic Jakob Schultz guitar solos. Absolutely fantastic. Excellent riffs, excellent compositions, just old school death metal the way Granddad used to make it. Maybe not Granddad, but it's freaking fantastic. And you have a whole bunch, like another album kind of worth of bonus tracks with some death covers, some obituary covers, massacre covers, and some originals. Some of this is demo stuff, some of it is live. And Jakob Hansen was in this band at some point too, because he sings on some of these songs and the bonus material. I liked this one so much that I have ordered both the vinyl version of this and the vinyl version of their new album. There's also a live album out on vinyl called Live Disfigurements, and I think it features some of the live tracks from the bonus part here. This is fantastic. If you like death metal, do yourself a favor and check it out. Up next, some more death thrashy stuff. Mega Slaughter, Calls from the Beyond. Fantastic stuff too, obviously. This is like old demo material almost, I think. It sounds very do-it-yourself-ish, and it is produced by Raban and Mega Slaughter. So this is a bit harsher thrash with some kind of death elements too. It's almost like, really early death metal in a way. Great stuff. Death Remains here too. Mega Slaughter. This is demo material, so the production is a bit rough, but it also makes it much more, authentic. Great stuff. If you like that kind of very early death metal where it's kind of thrashy still, check out Mega Slaughter. No Dread to Kill by Messerschmitt. Kind of speedy stuff, I would say. Very good stuff. Very enjoyable as well. I think if you like traditional metal, I think you will enjoy this. If you like speed metal, I think you'll enjoy it. If you like thrash metal, I think you'll enjoy it too. It's somewhere in the neighborhood. Mosquito, World's End. I do have another Mosquito CD, and that one was a lot of death worship. This is also kind of death thrash, but sounds like they're worshiping, I don't know, not death, but maybe just death metal in general, although it's more death thrash to me. The vocals are very different. I don't know if they have a different vocalist, but that doesn't mean that this is bad, because this is pretty damn good too. Now something completely different. Lita Ford, Stiletto. Yeah, your kind of 80s hard rock, very melodic. You have some fun rockers, very catchy stuff. You have a couple of cheesy ballads. There's a ballad on here called Elisa, which is actually not cheesy. It's actually okay. But yeah, this is very good if you like your kind of big sounding 80s hard rock with those big sounding drums and all that stuff, check out Stiletto. And I also gave this one, and this is the best of Lita Ford, a listen. And I think this is a pretty good kind of representation of what her music sounded like in the 80s, at least. So, yeah, if you want to check out Lisa Ford's music and you've never heard it before, this is kind of a good way to check out her music. Um Year of the Demon by Night Demon. So this is a compilation of singles by this band. It's traditional heavy metal. You have some live songs, you have some cover songs, you have some originals, you have some studio songs. It's actually very good. There's almost kind of a very early speed metal feel to some of the songs here. Um, and I think maybe this is a good introduction to their style. I mean, this is the only Night Demon release I've ever heard. So obviously it got me interested in listening to more of their songs or releases. So that is very cool. I'm just reading the hype sticker. Night Demon proudly presents Year of the Demon. The complete 2020 singles collection contains all 5 out of print 7-inch releases, including rare B-sides. First time and available on CD. So there you go. Okay, now there's gonna be a dip. 1 Second by Paradise Lost. This is kind of an uneven listen to me, to be honest. There are some really strong songs on here, like 3 of them or something, which are kind of reminiscent of the Believe in Nothing and Draconian Times style. And I really enjoy those 2 albums. But then you have some songs that sound almost like they're trying to sound like grunge, like Alice in Chains or something, and not doing a great job of that. And you also have a handful of songs that sound very inspired by 90s Depeche Mode. Um, but I mean, we already had Depeche Mode in the 90s, so why try to sound like them? You know, I mean, I get you're inspired by Depeche Mode. I love Depeche Mode, so that makes a lot of sense. But uh, yeah, it just sounds like maybe second-rate Depeche Mode. So I'd say half of the songs on here are actually pretty good, and the rest kind of disappointed me. And I've always had that kind of almost abusive relationship with Paradise Lost. When I first heard them back in the day in the 90s, I thought it was garbage. And then I grew to appreciate some of their albums, like the first one, like Draconian Times, like Gothic, Believe in Nothing. And but then after that, they became this kind of not very interesting band to me. And then last year I went back and listened to their classic discography, and suddenly a lot of that didn't click with me either. Still love the first one, still love Draconian Times and Believe in Nothing, but I was very underwhelmed by the other material. So I have this weird roller coaster relationship with Paradise Lost. This one is mediocre, I think. Some good stuff and some not very good stuff. Up next, Poseidon, and this one is called Back from the Abyss, the Anthology. It features an EP and then I think a mini album or something. This is a very uneven listen to. I have to be honest, the first 3 songs, which I think are from an EP, are, to my ears, absolute garbage. And there's some cool riffs, there's some cool things going on, but the drums sound terrible. Either they are very badly programmed drums or they're performed on a very bad electronic drum kit. I think they're programmed. It sounds awful. It destroys the songs completely. The songs themselves sound like they're stitched together from very different parts. And I think the reason why they sound so unfocused is because of the drumming. I think a real person could have made, transitions and could have made the changes from very different sounding parts into other very different sounding parts seem more natural, if you know what I mean. The rest of the songs are are decent enough that I'm gonna keep this. I think they have a real drummer on the rest of the songs. They also performed better. The compositions are better. It's some kind of thrash metal. So I would say this is a release. If you like kind of really dirty and filthy thrash metal, uh, this is a release worth picking up if you find it, uh, on sale or something. Um, and if you're prepared to skip the first three tracks because they are awful. Um, so I would say don't let the first three tracks ruin this for you. If you have a copy of this, you haven't heard it yet, the first three tracks, I think they're terrible, but they don't represent the entire release. The remaining songs are actually pretty okay, I would say. So that was kind of like the downer part. Then to the let's see, to the Nameless Dead by Primordial. This one came in a digibook. I still have the digibook saved somewhere else. Uh, Primordial, like I would say, they're kind of a black metal band that they combine black metal and Celtic folk music. This one is a bit more leaning towards the Celtic folk music side of things, but you do have some black metal bits every now and then. But I think there might be a lot of true cult black metal fans out there who would reject this as black metal. Like, I don't care. To me, it has black metal elements, but it's more than black metal. It's more than folk metal. They have their own thing going on. It's very melancholic. It has the melancholy that a lot of Celtic folk music has, and also a lot of black metal has. So the band, they kind of draw on this very well. The songs are well composed. There's almost like an epic feel to some of them. It's very melodic too, and it's actually pretty goddamn good, I think. So there you go. The Truth Hurts by Propane. I'm a big fan of Propane, but I haven't, well, now I have, but before I found these cheap in a secondhand record store. I hadn't heard their really early material. I've heard some re-recordings of some of their earlier songs, and those re-recordings are good. But finally, I got around to listening to the early material, and it draws a bit on hardcore punk. It draws a bit on groove metal. It draws a bit on um, kind of hard rock and a bit on rap metal, like a lot of the stuff that was going on in the 90s. So The Truth Hurts also have the Foul Taste of Freedom. It's very similar in style. Uh, I think it's on The Truth Hurts that Ice-T makes an appearance, and on this one here, Foul Taste of Freedom, there's a song called Every Good Boy Does Fine, which has a little bit of mariachi in it, believe it or not. But yeah, very good, groovy, um, hardcore, hard rock, groove metal, thrash metal, and a little bit of rap metal as well. Very good stuff. I do prefer their more recent material just because it's heavier and more aggressive, but very good stuff. Very good start to this band's vast catalog of awesome hardcore based metal music. So there you go. Bit of an emotional roller coaster. Started on a massive high, and then things were pretty good, and then a bit of a dip, and then we went back up thanks to Propane. So yeah, if any of this sounds interesting to you, do check it out. Thanks for watching.